Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 226 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week, I'm joined by Jake.
Hello.
And Shane.
Hello, hello.
And I'm Matt, as always. This week, we've got a fair amount of news. I mean, GTA is in the headlines a week earlier than we expected. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, as always, we're doing the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us. We've got some people in there already. Thanks for joining us. Hi. Oh wow. Hey, we got some subs. That's nice. How you guys doing? Been a couple weeks since you guys have been on. What's been happening?
So many guinea pigs. Just all the guinea pigs. A lot of it. I'll be getting into that for sure.
Oh man, those screenshots were priceless. Yeah.
I feel like I've been getting some good amount of gaming in. I took kind of a detour from the regular scheduled programming, so I'll be excited to get into what I've been playing a little bit. I took a small break from my little beat a game from every year challenge.
Oh.
So we'll talk about that when the time comes.
Yeah, nice. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing fucking terrible. How dare you speak to me?
Oh no.
No, it's fine. Let's get into some community questions here. We've got a few of them this week. Red Ninja Dan said, if you guys could wipe your memory of one game franchise and experience them from new again, what franchise would you choose?
Do I have to pick a franchise?
I mean, you could probably pick a singular game if you want.
Outer Wilds.
Yeah, Outer Wilds was the first one that came to mind for me too.
Without a doubt. Outer Wilds.
Yep. I've somehow managed to avoid the spoilers of what that game entails, and I will get to it at some point.
Yeah. I was shamed for having it on my unstarted backlog list this year, so I'm so glad I went and played it because,
yeah,
like I said on the show, the hype is real. It is just as good as everyone says it is. Yeah, some of the achievements are a bit of a pain, but actually I think some of the achievements take away from the experience. That's my only real complaint about it. But as an overall package, if you were to just play it, it's fucking fantastic.
I keep trying to get my my partner to play it. She loved Chance of Sonar. She has been. Oh, what did she play very recently? She was playing Blueprints recently. And she was working on another game. She plays games with her brother, like single player games, and they play them together, and it's kind of one of their bonding experiences. And I'm just like, you guys need to play Outer Wilds. It's literally everything you like love in a video game. Like, why haven't you touched this yet?
Yeah, I was absolutely blown away by that. It is, yeah. Chance of Sonar is also a great shout. Cocoon, I think, in a sort of similar vein of just like the sort of aha moments of figuring out the world and how there's puzzles, and yeah, there's some really, really clever stuff in there.
Yep.
The games that make you feel really smart. Chance of Sonar is so good if you just play it blind. Man,
yeah. I am mildly I'm a little nervous. I've oversold Outer Wilds, but I just feel like it's so hard to oversell Outer Wilds.
From everything I have heard. Oh, okay. From everything I've heard, no, you're not. Everyone says the same thing you do, where it's like go in blind, and it's amazing. So yeah, at some point I'll get to it.
I do think that the only issue I have with the game is controlling it. I think it's really the main thing. It's just like actually like the actual mechanics of the game are a bit of a pain in the ass in terms of, and like I get it, like there's not really other ways of doing it because it's space travel and 3-dimensional movement and all that kind of stuff. But you end up like flying into stuff and crashing a bit more often than I was hoping. But,
well,
yeah,
I was gonna say it's not just space and 3-dimensional movement. It's also like heavy. Every time you throw like a gravitational pull mechanic in the game, you're just asking for it to be a little bit trickier to control.
Yeah, it's very, very physicsy. Yeah. I had a couple of thoughts about this one. Shadow of the Colossus on that sort of puzzle front is one of those ones that comes to me as well, because just the genius of trying to figure out, because each of them are, a puzzle and a boss fight, and just like trying to figure out how each of them works and using your environment. And some of them are better than others, but there's just so many great things in that game. And like I wish.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of games. Sorry, I can go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just like I kind of had that experience ruined for me a little bit when I first played it, because I was like, young enough that I didn't really appreciate it. Now going back, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's fucking incredible.
I'm trying to think of games where I would really truly like you need to basically erase your memory to be able to enjoy it again. Because Outer Wilds, I just don't think I can go back and play. Like it wouldn't be the same game almost.
Yeah, there's no
It's
progression, so
completely
it's all like internal knowledge.
yeah. But there are other games that are, while amazing, given enough time, are able to be re-experienced. Like I not too long ago, just a couple years ago, played GTA 5. I played through the story to 100% the story on the Xbox One version, 100% it when it first came out on the 360 way back in 2013. And I kind of like was like, I'm over GTA. Like I don't really care. It's not my type of game anymore. I've grown out of it. And I was like, I'm gonna go back and play through. I already have it on my tag, so I'm gonna go just finish the story. I don't care about the multiplayer. I'm gonna at least finish the story. And playing through the story, I was like, damn, this is a really good. Like this is a fun game. I forgot how fun this game is. So it's like I don't think of games like that where it's just like I don't need to erase my memory to have a good time re-experiencing the game. But I can't think of any other like I'm sure there are other games that aren't just Outer Wilds that are just like some twist I need to have wiped from my memory to be able to like fully get the sense of the game again.
Yeah.
Would you kindly repeat that? Or
Yeah, so yeah, actually that is, I mean, that is great shit. Cameron says Bioshock because it's trash, which means that I'm gonna ban him.
yeah, well, he's being a troll. It's
Disagree.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Forgotten City is another good one. Yeah.
Bioshock, even though I know the twist of Bioshock, 1, 2, and 3, I still could go back. That's one of those games that's the same vein of GTA where I could go back and, even though I know it, still go back and be like, this is a fun time. I'm having a great time. But yeah, Outer Wilds is just one of those games you really just get to play once, and that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about this also from like a narrative perspective because like there's two things. Like I'm playing, we'll talk about in what we've been playing, but going back to Legacy of Kain and like that narrative and the reveals and all that sort of stuff. Like it's been so long. Like I played that at a very formative age. That like it's been so long now that I'm playing the remasters, I'm like, oh man, this is great to go back and experience because like I again I remember the main plot points of like Raziel and what happened to him and how he became the way he was, but there's so much intricacies and like the time travel stuff and the pillars and all the players on the board and all that kind of stuff and so now that I'm kind of re-experiencing it, I'm be like, oh, this is just like I need another one of these games, or I need a full reboot where they just kind of turn this into something that's actually more playable. So yeah, that's one of those ones where it's been long enough that I kind of feel like I'm having that experience. One that I would love, like a franchise that I would love to be able to wipe my memory of, is the Zero Escape series. Those three games, those three games, like there's so much there, and the Leonardo pointing at the screen thing of just like, I mean, like if I had to pick one, it'd be like Virtue's Last Reward. The second game for sure is definitely the most interesting in terms of all the shit that you figure out from that game.
Yeah,
but the stuff in Time Dilemma that like you suddenly as you play the other two games, you're like, oh shit, this is the thing, or that's the thing that led to this, or I think I know how this is going to work, and then it fucks with you. Like it's like that game is just reveals upon reveals upon reveals, and like super super clever shit all the way through it. And like obviously the puzzles are also really fun, and like it's a really cool game. And like I'm still so mad that they set up on a cliffhanger for a fourth game and they haven't gotten around to making it yet. But
I still need to play the third one. I've only done the first and second, so.
But yeah, and like it is one of those things where it's like playing through it again, you notice all the things. Like it is the classic like Usual Suspects, or like second viewing is definitely, you get a lot more out of it because you're like, oh right. But just being able to be surprised by those things at the first time would just be incredible. I'd love that.
Someone played those games, the Zero Escape ones.
Yeah, I mean,
know
like,
they was just recommended on the TA article, and I was like, I really need to get around to those.
100%. I think like 999 is. I mean, 999 is a really good start because it doesn't have too much crazy. Like it has some slightly insane shit in it, but most of that is like backloaded. So it's like you kind of get into it. You're like, oh, okay, it's interesting puzzle stuff. Some like making choices that kind of diverge, like visual novel style of things while doing puzzles. And then suddenly you get towards the end, you're like, oh shit, this is why this is happening, or this is when things start getting really, really weird. And And then Virtue's Last Reward just starts weird right from the beginning because they assume you played the previous one. Yeah, I love that series. Yeah, that's probably my answer for that. Any others that we can think of?
Not really. I mean, maybe for enjoyment. Like, I'd love to play the Fallout games without knowing anything going on and play those again.
Yeah,
because it's so
I'd
hard
have
for me
to
to go
sit
back
with.
through a game I finished.
I'd want to sit with this. I'd have to sit with this one for a while because I know there are for sure games where the experience at the end, experiencing it for the first time, like we all, it's the meme, you know, you finish a game and your credits roll, and then you just spend the rest of the evening like having an existential crisis and going, well, I'm never playing another video game again because I don't know.
That's every time I finish a fucking game. It happens so specifically because I try to pick games like that where I'm just like I'm going to be emotionally devastated by this, either by the game itself or the fact that that I'm done with it.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like I could go back and enjoy it because it's even having played through it because it's been long enough. But like RDR2 was one of those moments for me where I credits rolled on RDR2 and that song plays and I'm just like, wow, that was soul crushing. Holy shit. And like experiencing that again. I don't know if I could have that same like, damn, that was soul crushing experience again now that I know it. So maybe something like that. But because like GTA 5, while it's really good, when credits roll, I wasn't just like gutted. But when RDR2's credits rolled, I was like, wow, that was an insane experience, an insane story. And I think that just the setting helped. Like, I don't think GTA 6 is going to give me the same thing. I really don't. Even though it's the game after RDR2 and they surely have grown in their storytelling and like can tell us a similar story, but I just don't think the mood is going to be able to do that. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's sorry, excuse me. I think there's a tonal piece in there too, right? Of like the way RDR2 ends versus like how GTA 5 ends, and then it's like, cool, now go around and collect 50 UFO things, and or it's like do these stunt jumps, and like obviously there's a lot of side content in RDR2, but it's like, yeah, I mean, well, again, I don't want to give any spoilers because some people haven't played it. Actually, to be fair, I haven't played it either. Technically, it's one of those. It's one of my it's a black mark on my record, unfortunately. But I'll get around to it at some stage.
Put it on an alt tag. I don't recommend achievement hunting it, but I recommend experiencing it.
That's exactly. I think that's the way to do it. All right, we got another question here from Logic Dad Isaac, who says, "Hey guys, a whole bunch of games played on my tag in the last few years have had glitched achievements, which require me to play through the entire game again for just one achievement. What's the most annoying thing that's happened to you in a game or games recently in that vein?"
It's like one of the main things I got to talk about this week when we get to my games I've played.
Yeah, me too.
Recently?
Yeah.
See, I don't have the same problem a lot of people do where the platinum achievement glitches out. I don't really have that issue very often, so it's pretty rare.
I usually don't have that issue either. But
yeah, me neither. I'm because I cherry pick my games pretty aggressively, and I don't play a lot of new things these days. And it's always the new things that have the problems. The only thing I can think of kind of is like I've had a couple retro achievements bug on me, but those are easy to fix because you can just say, "Hey, I did it," and it didn't pop it for me, and they go, "Okay."
See, that'd be nice. Yeah,
that'd be so nice. I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit when I talk about what I played, but I don't know. Some of the decisions, like a game where you have to play through twice because you just like the achievements force you because there's different decisions you have to make. That always kind of annoys me, I guess. But I don't know. I haven't had anything like bug on me in a long time.
Yeah, my luck has been relatively good for the most part, except for this week. But yeah, I definitely get that feeling of like, again, our bimestral burden is to play through games that require you to play them multiple times. But I find it very rare when there is a game that really deserves your time in order to be played through twice. Most games don't have enough new content or enough kind of, interesting additional things that kind of give you that. Like, maybe the one exception is, I'm thinking maybe Witcher 2. That's like the whole second act is a completely different storyline depending on how you kind of go with that stuff. The third act is a little bit different as well, but it's quite short. And so it's like, okay, yeah, maybe something along those lines, and you have to play it twice anyway for the difficulty stuff. I fucking hate the difficulty stuff like that too. But yeah, in terms of things, like the one that springs to mind was, I had a lot of issues with Dragon Age Inquisition. Went back and kind of did that for the backlog, the started backlog last year, I think it was, after I finished Valguard, and a bunch of those achievements didn't unlock, which is really annoying because like I got to the end of it, and thankfully I got the one for finishing the game on Nightmare, so like the most difficult achievements taken care of, but there's still a bunch in there around like closing rifts, and there was even one around like getting 5 mounts that didn't unlock that I had to do a separate playthrough for, so I'm going to have to do one big extra playthrough of that, which I'm really not looking forward to because that game is not great. And then in a similar vein, same thing happened with Dragon Age 2. There's an achievement for finding every resource or whatever, which I definitely did and never got it. And so then I went back and just did a whole other playthrough of the game, which is like, it was fun to go back to because it was been long enough that it was like, okay, cool, I get to experience this again. But it was, I had to really push myself to go and do it.
The only thing I think I'd have to offer for like an annoying, frustrating thing in achievement hunting that happened lately was it took me like 3 hours just to get Donkey Kong 64 working with achievements.
Yeah.
Because the game is not only notoriously just like broken on original hardware, it's also notoriously difficult to emulate. So getting that in a playable state with achievements working took me way more time than I would have liked it to.
Yeah, I fucking hate technical issue stuff too. That's always the struggle about not doing strict console things.
Yeah.
Is that
I can talk about it. I'll talk about it when I get to what we've been playing. I won't go into it yet.
I think on top of my head, it was the last time a game like really screwed me with a glitch or something, but I can't think of one. If I can take a quick peek.
Yeah, I'm sure I could dig through and find some stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, that was frustrating. Or
Well,
yeah,
the
it'll be like
question was
obvious. Like, oh my god,
that's from like recently. No, I don't.
Minecraft takes a second for the achievements to pop.
Yeah,
okay. You want to fix that? Don't play new games.
That's the that's the thing, right? It's like, yeah, like make sure you play stuff as well researched and you understand what's happening.
Yeah. Oh, I did have Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Nothing bugged on me yet, but like there were some weird buggy things going on with it, more technical issue things, and like the pops were wicked delayed, and I know that game has some history, so I guess maybe that I was working on that with somebody and had some weird issues, but mostly fixed.
Wait, what the fuck did this get DLC? Yeah, that, like today, Jesus Christ. I love when I discover fucking games. I'm like, oh, I'm going through my complete Tales of Iron 2. I was like, oh yeah, I finished that a few weeks ago. And it's like, oh, suddenly it's got an unknown DLC pack. Anyway, I'm getting off topic.
Oh, that's fun. Lucky you.
Yeah,
I'm going through my list. I know there was recently a game that glitched on me, and I just can't think of what it was. It does really happen very rarely.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Side thing, since we're looking at our list. Did you guys do I don't know how new it is. I don't look at TA as much as I should. Did you guys do the import whole game library feature?
No, I didn't. I was worried about what I might find there.
I said screw it, and I just imported the whole every single game I've ever purchased on my Xbox account. I just said, "Yep, add it to my TA. Screw it."
Christ, that's
it
crazy.
still doesn't count against my completion until you start it. So
yeah, I did too, but I kept my game collection up to date anyway, so it didn't really add much. There was a couple DLCs here and there I didn't know, but they were for games I hadn't started yet, so it was like whatever.
That's fair.
Oh, Skull Island Rise of Kong is the correct answer to this. I had to do almost a whole nother playthrough of that because fucking one of the
screw that garbage.
Yeah, that game was rough. That was for the what was it?
You can tell they pretty much had this big plan and they just didn't. They just didn't.
I actually have it's about a year old at the time, but I actually have a great story for this one. Project Cars 3. Did I talked about that when I was playing it on the pod and what I had to do to get
Possibly.
it to work? So Project Cars 3 had a notoriously broken multiplayer. I was chasing down the all the multiplayer because the servers were going down, and I there's a do weekly and daily and monthly races thing in that game, and you have to. It's a real true skill leaderboard kind of situation where you, depending on your lap times, you get like X amount of points when the points are scored. And you had to get like so many points in a given month. The score is tallied at the end of the month, but the achievement will pop as soon as you got the requirements. It required a minimum of like playing the monthly, the weekly, and then like 8 or 9 dailies or something like that. However, you couldn't shut off your game. At some point, it broke, and they never fixed it. Your points wouldn't save if you rebooted the game.
Oh yes, I do remember you telling us about this. Yes, I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to keep my Xbox on for a week, and then the day before I was supposed to get it, the UI bugged out. Everything was blank. I could still like move my cursor around, and I could hear it clicking around, but I tried to fix it, and I don't know if it was just like a memory issue or what, but I loaded into a race, and then the game hard locked. So I had to restart. I started from ground zero, and I tried some different things to keep that from happening this time. Like I tried going into like places I thought the memory would like stay chill or this or that. And I actually, it was the night before, because it scores when the period ends. So like the day you do your daily, and then you get the points after the new daily comes in. And so I finished my last one. All I needed to do was have it get scored. And I wake up and I turn on my monitor that day, and I see the exact same glitch had happened. But I was able to basically just through sheer memory of the menus navigate to the daily rivals system and get my points to register, and the achievement still popped. And I was just like, oh. But yeah, that's one, I guess.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. But yeah, I like to think that most of the stuff is pretty good these days. We don't have too many issues. And yeah, if you're playing older stuff, usually the kinks have been ironed out, or you just don't play them if they're broken.
Yep. Be picky. Achievement hunters. Completions. Yep.
Last minute question here from Keo. It says, if Xbox took the idea of disc to digital and allowed you to go both ways and print your media to back up your game by hard drive or disc, would you buy into it more easily? Also assuming the DRM would be most likely locked to your profile as a true personal backup unless you have some better ideas. I would also assume that your profile would only need to be signed in for the other profiles to play, localizing it to the console that has access to it. Yeah, I think this is kind of inspired by, there was a guy who made like cartridge. He's making cartridges for all of his games that and just kind of plug. He had a really cool plug-in device. Go check that video out, by the way. It's really cool. I don't know. I feel like there's been a lot of talk about this disc to digital thing, and like I think that at least in the AAA space, in the US in particular, it sounds like, well, for Xbox, it's like physical is like 10% for most stuff. It's a little bit bigger for PlayStation. I think it was like closer to 30%, but still, like, I think Xbox ironically is actually further into the all digital future than Sony is in terms of its player base, and they've trained a lot of that with Game Pass and all that kind of stuff, and people not even buying games and just kind of playing through that. But I don't know. Do you guys think that there's kind of an interesting idea of like burning things to disk or like backing things up?
Not really. I'm all ready for the digital. I haven't bought a physical game. I mean, it's only like Japanese games because it's the only way to really get them on 360.
True.
And other than that, maybe thrift stores here and there, but nothing new.
I'm a huge digital or physical guy, obviously. Yeah, I actually I think that'd be cool being able to back up my games to physical disc, but I don't know. I don't know if it'd be the same thing for me. I'd have to find a way to do it in a way that invokes the same feeling of official physical product. Because I love the cover art and the spine art and the and the disc art and all that stuff is a part of it for me. So just like burning it to a read writable CD-ROM
Doesn't
blank
really,
disc, I
yeah,
don't think.
doesn't scratch that itch.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think so. But I mean, there's still ways you could, you can get little stickers to stick on your own CD covers, and you can start, people do custom cases and stuff. So it could be really, it could be a new side of the hobby for me that I didn't know I was missing, if that came to be. The problem I'm concerned about with that, and with disc to digital in general, is like, um it needs to still be honored as something you own, right?
Yeah.
And I just feel I'm just really concerned. I'm cautious with the disc to digital thing, where that's a slippery slope into, um it's a disc version of game key cards, right?
Basically.
It's still better than what Sony's talking about doing, in my opinion. But like, I still think game key cards was a step in the wrong direction. I think this to digital is continuing to step in the direction of not having ownership of your things. Um, I don't know. Well, to see where things go, I guess. But in the same vein, the conversation's always, oh, your disk is only 10 megabytes and it's just a license key anyway, and it pulls the data from the server and yada yada. So how much ownership is it?
But which, to be fair, is not really true in most cases, to be honest. Like, again, there are definitely some
Not
of those
really.
games, but I mean, people have been going around doing testing on those games to see kind of what's on those discs, and especially on the PlayStation front where they're using Blu-rays. Like it's a little bit different in terms of how much storage they have on those, whereas like versus an Xbox,
Play,
where
PlayStation, which is why I'm surprised PlayStation's being the first one to say, yeah, we're
Mhm.
moving away from it. PlayStation has been better than Xbox, about that. Like, most PlayStation games can be played without making an internet connection. You have the disc. I do feel like a lot of Xbox games are just have, at least in my experience, have been kind of a license check-in. But I don't know, maybe I'm looking at the wrong games.
maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like there's also, yeah, if you think about just physical, how many of those do we own? How many of them have an online check before you can even play them? I imagine it's probably actually not that many. But then again, I guess like game sizes have been inflating over the years. Like I can't imagine, would a Call of Duty work, but putting it just straight in the disk drive? I mean, those things are like 500 gigs. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I haven't done that. Maybe that's just something I need to do. Maybe that's something I need to experiment with, is just like unplug the Ethernet, go fully offline on my Xbox, plug in a disc to a single player game, like a game I know is not going to have server checkage shit, and see what kind of game I play and how much of it I can play. That could be something, because I admittedly haven't done that probably since I got my Xbox One, because the thing was basically useless without its online connection anyway.
Sure.
Like it's
And
it's yeah, and connect.
connect.
Playing games without an internet connection, even if it's a fully single player game in 2026, is like, no one's really doing that. Like, obviously there are the edge cases, but and that's the argument obviously digital's making, is, well, you're all connected to the internet anyway. But then it's the ownership thing.
Yeah. And the fact that they can take that away from you very, very easily.
Yeah. And the hobby of it, obviously, for
Sure.
me. Just big it's basically yeah, it's just saying my hobby has an expiration date, essentially. Or there's this definitive end to, like, I can go backwards obviously, but we're not going forwards. That kind of sucks.
Mm. And yeah, I mean, what are people going to post in the overpriced garbage channel? Like,
I mean, I still got tons
statues.
of games. Yeah. I'll figure something out. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's never I'm never short of things to waste my money.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Oh man. All right, let's get into the news. The first one here. This is a bit of a repeat story, but it's interesting to hear it again. So there was a interview with the Wall Street Journal. Sony CEO Hiroki Totoki has basically confirmed that they still don't have a confirmed release date for the PlayStation 6.
Surprised?
I mean,
Oh,
I don't know. Like, am I surprised? Maybe a little bit. I mean, again, like this is obviously them talking to an outside entity, you know, journalists and stuff. So maybe it's like, actually, we do have an idea, we're just not ready to talk about it yet. But even in their, you know, most recent investor calls, they've talked about how they don't have a set date, mainly because of the chip shortages and just kind of everything happening in that space. Yeah, there were a bunch of, you know, analysts basically expected the PS6 to arrive next year, but like, I don't see that fucking happening.
no way.
I don't either. Not only for like they could do it, I think. It's about that time, 2027, 7-year console cycle. I mean, I feel like we do this math every time we talk about it. Like GameCube was like 2000 to 2006 ish. That's when the Wii came out. Xbox was 2000 to 2006, and 2005 technically.
Yeah. Xbox
PS3 was 2000. Yeah, like 6-year life for there, and then the Xbox 360 was about a 7, and another 7. So yeah, it's been 7 years. So it's when you'd reasonably expect a new console. I think it just feels weird this year or this time because of things we've talked about in the past, where this has felt like the most underutilized console gen like we've ever seen. There's been they're still releasing PS4 games, and it doesn't feel like we're even close to hitting the power caps of the PS5. And then so there's that, and then there's also just the like kind of social economic side of it, where they could for sure release one next year, but I think they also know nobody wants to pay $1,000 for a console.
Which we'll get into,
So
because it was an interesting some interesting chat around that. Actually, I'll move that up to talk about that after this, because I think that, yeah, there's some analysts looking into like, well, if we end up in $1,000 console future, what does that look like in terms of adoption, and kind of what's the prediction there? Because yeah, you're right. Like it's
Bad.
yeah, bad. Bad is in a short, yeah, in short, very bad.
dude, people were already like, what did the 360 launch at? You could get a $350 360 at launch, right? And then the Xbox,
yeah,
Yeah.
the cheapest version. Yeah,
yeah, like the arcade,
Yeah.
whatever, you know. But you can still get one. And then the Xbox was launching at 500, and I remember people kind of being upset about that, saying that was too much even for 2013. We got the Series X at 500, which was that felt right, I guess.
Sure.
So doubling that for the next console generation, I just don't. I was already like, before the disc thing, I was like, oof, $1,000 consoles. Like I bought the Ally, which was 1,000, but I guess I'm a whale. I don't know. I've been in the market anyway, but I'm not a good metric, I don't think.
I don't think
I'm a
any of us
tech
are,
nerd.
to be fair. Yeah, because I think we're even if we aren't early adopters, we're definitely on the earlier end of getting some of these consoles.
Yeah, I'm a tech nerd. I buy tech. I bought an Ein Thor too, and I maxed that guy out. But even at $1,000 for PS6, I was looking at like maybe getting one later down the line. I was like, no, I won't day one that. That's a little steep to just day one. There's not going to be enough reason to get one. We'll even see if I get a Series X day one. I don't know. At $1,000. Now I'm obviously super soured on PlayStation because they're saying they're going to go no physicals. So I'm just like, well, I don't know the point of getting one in general. Then they'd have to have a really big banger of a game. They have been just disappointing after disappointing for the PS5 for their first parties. So I don't know.
Just wait for NAC 3.
True. I'm forgetting about NAC 3. Like, I don't think we have a story about it. Maybe I missed some conversation, or maybe we're not talking about it because it's an Xbox podcast. But like, I don't know. Have you guys seen Wolverine?
Probably.
I have not, actually. I haven't been keeping track of it. I saw there was a preview that just came out
game.
to watch.
It looks so fine.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'm not sure what people expected otherwise.
Well, because it's Insomniac, shipped Spider-Man 1 was for sure a reason to buy a PS4.
Mhm.
Spider-Man 2, I don't know. That was kind of just more of the same, I think, and that's part of the problem. I think people are just getting sick of it or just bored with it. So like when you say that, like I don't know what anyone expected, is people have come to expect highly of Sony's first party games, and the PS5 has been like just not meeting the bar at like time over and over and over, just not meeting the bar. So I like, and that's my feelings with GTA 6 too. Is in a way like I don't think GTA is going to be a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. We can talk about that too when we get to the story, but I don't know if fine is good enough for certain games.
Especially if you're spending 300 million on it, like that's for sure. No, I get what you're saying. I 100% get what you're saying. Yeah, it might have been fine,
so
10 years ago, but
so with releases like Wolverine, which is fine, why would like you're not selling $1,000 system on fine games?
Sure,
is the point I'm trying to make.
You need the killer app. Which, to be fair, the killer app has always been the problem with any console launch, right? Every time it's been like early like crazy early adopters will be like, well, I'm buying it day one and I'll play the terrible launch lineup of one console exclusive. I'll play my Cameo or my Perfect Dark Zero. I'll play the one sports game, and I'll play the one other third party title that's not very good that comes out. That's probably a port from last generation, and those are the 3 games. Like that's always been the problem of like, well, what's the thing that gets you across the line? We have this discussion around like, well, yeah, what is the thing that gets you to buy the next console? What is the thing that got you to buy a Series X? It's like, what was the game? Was it just, oh, did my old console die? Is it just because there were enough exclusives? Like, it's a hard ask. Like, I still think about like when would I have bought a Series X if I hadn't won one? And I still struggle to go like, actually, yeah, there's not really that much on the exclusive camp that I feel like I had to have a Series X for.
I bought a Series X for sure because I was in the ecosystem. I had a huge library already, so like that was for sure. But that's the big difference, and I think a really stark thing right now with the next gen is I'll probably buy a Series X because it's where the majority of my library lives. So Microsoft won me in that regard. I bought a Series X, or I bought an Xbox One for that reason. I bought a PS4 for games.
Sure.
I bought a Series X because I was in the ecosystem, and then I bought a PS5 for games, specifically Final Fantasy 16, which is now a multi-platform game. But I'm gonna buy a Helix because I'm in the ecosystem. I don't know if I can say I'm gonna buy a PS6 for games next generation. We'll see.
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this has been the podcast of me going, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of unknowns going around.
A lot of people, yeah.
I think there's a lot of,
including Sony apparently. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I feel like the gamers are uncertain, the publishers are uncertain, the platform holders are uncertain. Like no one knows what the fuck is going on. It feels like. Cameron says it feel like it was more feature interest than game. Yeah, that's for sure. I can definitely see that. Like there's stuff around like SSDs and other bits and pieces that I feel like are some of the other appealing aspects. But because like we don't know anything about the PS6, we haven't seen one. We haven't seen any like leaked dev kits or any of that kind of stuff. It's not like we can start theorizing around what kind of features it might have that might be interesting outside of the games themselves. But at the end of the day, it'll come down to the games.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we haven't had a huge focus on launch titles in a while. Like I feel like every time a new console's come out lately, that's like the first articles I see is where are the launch titles? There's no killer app, blah blah blah. Like I mean, Nintendo hasn't even had them really. I mean, Switch 2 had what, Donkey Kong, but everyone was like, well, where's Mario? Where's Zelda?
And that's a good question. Where is Mario? Right? Like it does. I mean, obviously they've got the Ocarina of Time.
Still.
Like the Switch 2 is now a year old. We're outside of the launch window, and now we have Ocarina of Time remake coming at the end of the year. Maybe that's the thing. If it's really, really good.
Mario Titan just leaked very recently.
Oh, really?
It looks like almost DK64 style, like swap between Mario, Luigi, Wario.
Oh, okay.
Kind of 3D platformer. We'll see. It was like it's a
sure.
it's not a widespread leak, so it's just been leaking a little bit.
Oh, don't get me wrong. DK was a great game. That's what everyone said.
Yes.
But it's not the killer app that people wanted. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I feel like to your point, 360 had what? Cameo and Perfect Dark Zero.
Yeah.
And while people were
Dead or
kind of
Alive
excited
4.
for those, they
Yeah.
didn't. This 360 was just a powerhouse in its own.
You want to sell a console? Taking it out of the Switch's book.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild was a reason to buy a Switch day one.
And I feel like that was the last time we had a killer app. Everyone's like,
and then they had Odyssey 6 months later. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
It might have been less than 6 months. It was by the end of the year though. Like they had a Mario and a Zelda on that console within the first
December.
Yeah, it was December. It's like within the first 6 months. Like that's the way to do it, right? But
in the end, sadly, as long as we have one of the, as much as everyone hates it, top global leaders running around being insane and causing just absolute havoc everywhere, and then on the other hand, we also have AI, all this AI nonsense, man. These companies are going to be just anxious as can be to do anything right now.
I mean, I guess
the game wise, hardware, any of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to have any kind of certainty. I mean, I'll say right now, like I'm not buying a console for that price. It's just too much. Like there's
absolutely not.
But the thing is, like, but if prices don't start getting better, I mean, this is the first generation where prices are going up at the end of the generation rather than down, right? So it becomes a thing of like, well, if I don't pay $1,000 for it now, am I gonna have to pay $2,000 for it in 4 years? Like, people are gonna get priced out of this hobby.
Yeah, the way things are going, I'm not buying a new console until it starts getting to the point kind of now where it is with the Xbox One, where there's no games coming to Xbox One.
Yeah, they're done.
Even games coming to Game Pass, they're all, you need to have a series. So then I would probably consider getting Helix or whatever.
Yeah.
But for now, absolutely not. There ain't no way I'm getting one at $1,000.
And I think that's why Microsoft, and I know they've been whisperings of this being back and forth or not true or true. But I think that's why Microsoft is looking at the Helix as like a hybrid PC build thing.
Yeah.
Is because I just think for that price point, your device does need to do more than just play Xbox games.
True.
Not even just like play games, like you need it to be a computer. And that's what I think Sony's doing right now is they're just pushing every decision they're announcing is just more, okay, why don't I just buy a computer then? Like, you're already in the price point of a computer now. Your games aren't that good. You're going full digital. I'm just going to go buy a computer. Be done with it. And Xbox is like, hey, I got a computer to sell you.
Yeah. Yeah, and the rumor is that PlayStation's going to kind of tackle that with their sort of handheld PS5 sort of thing that they're apparently doing, which is again we haven't seen anything of it, but everyone is talking about it, so I assume that there is some truth to it at least. And so maybe that's like
an onboard hardware or a cloud gaming thing.
Onboard hardware apparently.
Portal. That's going to be expensive.
Yes, and for sure, right? And so that there's an aspect of like, okay, what does that look like? But if it's not the power of a PS6, and so then it's like, well, if you suddenly have PS5, PS5 Pro, some sort of PlayStation handheld, and a PS6 as the sort of ecosystem, like what's going to be like? People are going to keep making games for the lower end stuff. They're going to have to because no one's going to be able to afford the PS6, and so it'll get some upscaling on it. But like, yeah.
It's almost like over the next 5 years, sales could decrease because of all the huge prices.
Yeah, so this leads into a very interesting story here. Thank you for the segue. Where some analysts have looked at what it might look like if we start hitting these $1,000 console prices for the next gen, $1,000 or more. The scenario forecasts suggest that a combined number of PS6 and PS6 and Xbox Helix consoles sold after the first 5 years could be up to 38% lower than the PS5 and Series XS over the same period. So if you look into the numbers, the main prediction is that the amount that would be bought over the first couple of years would probably be about the same, because you get the same kind of early adopters who have kind of adjusted to the amount, and they were going to buy it no matter what. But it's after that, when you start getting into like years 3, 4, and 5, that the drop off really starts to happen, because people aren't seeing the price decreases. Even as games come out for these systems, they're still too expensive for people who are less involved going out and buying them. who are the main consumers that make up, the gaming industry.
Well, I mean, it's a similar thinking why things in America will be $19.99 because that cent down from 20 matters to people making impulse decisions.
Sure.
And when it comes to 1000, there are very few people that are going to just randomly go out and grab a console or decide that now is the time. Like that psychology matters. And there is, like you said, the initial buyout is going to be everyone, influencers and the major hobbyists like us, and but that number's going to drop hard when all those parents out there looking for new consoles, or people just getting maybe a good paycheck and want to go get a new console. Like, they're not going to pay $1,000, or they're going to be far less likely to make that decision. And it's gonna, I mean, if the video game industry thought that post-COVID was a bad drop, boy, they are in for a treat if they think anyone's gonna be buying expensive consoles like that.
Yeah, that's the other bit too, obviously, is that those consoles, all the consoles that they're referring to also launched during COVID. So they're going to be up against some pretty tough numbers already.
Oh yeah.
So estimating so Ampere is the Ampere Analysis, the company who are doing this analytics here, estimating that by 2031 the console games and service market across the Xbox and PlayStation could be 12% lower if the consoles are sold for more than $700, which they almost certainly will be. If you're going to go through the numbers there, they've kind of highlighted, like, if they sold it 1,000, 900, 800, like kind of bringing it down and going, okay, if they sell at this price, this is probably the knock-on effect it'll have in terms of the uptick of how many people are going to be picking these consoles up and who can afford them. And then also, like the other bits too around, the games and service market is like, well, if you're not selling consoles and people have less money, then people are going to be buying less games and services. Less people on Game Pass, less people on PlayStation Plus, less people buying these games up front. I mean, I can totally see $1,000 price point. Like we're already creeping towards that 900 price point for like PlayStation 5 Pro and
Series X.
And Series X, yeah, exactly. And it's like, that's crazy. So they've also suggested that the 3% potential strategic models if they want to avoid launching at $1,000 and sell for as low as price as possible. So firstly, they could continue with their current strategy to release an incrementally improved version of the previous hardware, but delay the launch of the next generation until 2028. So I don't think that'll work for Sony because they've already got the PlayStation Pro out there. But we didn't see a mid-console refresh from Xbox this generation, which is a little bit interesting.
I think because they were caught between the Series S and X. Like, how do you?
That's true. Yeah,
that?
How do you do that?
I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And because they have to run on both. So the idea being that, like, maybe they extend the generation beyond 2028, and they go, actually, 2028 is we're still too early to be doing that. We need to extend it out to 2030 potentially, and see if the cost of components eventually drops. Which hopefully it will. I mean, that is the thinking, is that, like, by that time things should be slightly more reasonable. Secondly, they could continue to aim for the 2028 window, but reduce the prices by making heavy use of hardware subsidies, new monetization models, more aggressive digital content strategy. So price increases for Game Pass and other bits and pieces. They've been talking about like financing and like ad supported stuff, and there's a few bits and pieces there.
Which they tiptoed in with was it the one that did that? I think they have like you can get a payment plan through Xbox.
Yes.
And you also got like gold and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they give you like a year of Ultimate or whatever. Well, yeah, or something. Yeah. And again, they've also looked
at gold back then. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah. And then they were also they would do the ad supported model for cloud streaming they've been testing recently. It's like you only get like an hour or two with it, but it's like you watch an ad up front and then you get to, even if you don't have a Game Pass subscription, you can kind of play all this stuff, which is a little bit interesting. And then finally, they could pivot in a different direction and substantially innovate on hardware form factor and use cases, placing less emphasis on graphical improvement. So this would allow them to offer a next generation experience, but clearly different from the current Gen 1, but would keep prices low, similar to the strategy that Nintendo implemented with the Wii. I mean, that's just, I just don't see that selling. I don't think that Sony or Microsoft are in a position where they can kind of innovate in that way. Xbox has, I mean, obviously the hybrid thing, I think, like you were saying, Jake, the hybrid thing kind of maybe ties in with that third point a little bit, where you build out some point of difference that isn't exactly relying on the cost of those components or getting the top chipset, and kind of going, okay, well, here's an additional offering that doesn't necessarily collate with that, or kind of expands out the functionality of the device without making it too much more expensive, or at least making that spreading that expense out. But
Yeah.
I really don't know.
I almost feel like what I've been saying is they almost are going to have to offer something along the lines of their financing plan, but it's going to just have to be like the most non-aggressive financing plan they've like imaginable.
Yeah.
Like
almost zero interest.
Almost no interest, and you can pay it off over 2 years, so you're paying, what's 1,000 divided by 24? 20 something? A little less than 20 something?
Sure.
Yeah, it would not be a lot.
Not a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so they say you gotta pay $18 a month at 2% APR, and the APR doesn't kick in until the second year. Like, just
And we
something
give you gold or ultimate, I guess.
So you pay like $40 a month or something. Let's say 50. It's $50 a month. And yeah, exactly. And the interest doesn't kick in for 2 years. Yeah, you pay it off.
Yep, and you get ultimate, so that way they're taking a loss, but at the same time they get just anything to get ahead and get a footing in this next generation.
I don't know if that can happen. I think that's incredibly risky, obviously, because like they would get into a really rocky situation of obviously like people defaulting, or I don't know. Anytime you mention, people made a mockery of putting DoorDash orders on credit, obviously.
My favorite was the Costco hot dog on credit, paying that off in 4 installments.
Yeah. But we're also in such a buy now pay later society with like really like lenient offerings. But when you, the only way buy now pay later society works for people is people not paying, so the companies, make something back off of their small loan. But I don't know. I still I feel like I agree. I don't think they should skimp on fidelity. Not that that matters to me, but PlayStation and Xbox have always just been like, we're the cutting edge of graphics. Buy our consoles if you want the cutting edge of graphics. Yeah. So a shift from that would be really weird for people. What was the first one?
Delaying out to like 2030.
Yeah, I would be okay with that, but I don't know if it gets better. Like,
true,
we can hope in 2 years RAM is down and components are down and it's not impossible to buy hardware, but like, do we know that for sure? Like,
no.
Does the AI data center demand go down for sure? Like, I don't know.
If it was government regulated, it would be.
Yeah.
And by 2028, hopefully we have a change that in this country.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I hope, but I don't know if we can. I don't know if you can bet on it. So I don't know if delaying till 2030 is a strat. Maybe the strat is Microsoft does a mid-gen update and they let Sony release the PS6, and then the PS6 does terrible $1,000, and Microsoft is like, great, well, this is our opportunity to undercut, and we can get ahead in that way. But yeah, this is the episode of
fuck if I know.
That's the entire global market, man. I would hate to be an economist right now. Good lord.
Yeah, I know it. 'Cause that's the state of gaming right now. Is where's gaming going to be into?
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. I mean, the idea of doing a finance plan to get the consoles in people's hands for cheaper is probably not the worst idea, especially if you're third place in the market and you really need to get adoption up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe there's something along those lines, or do something really aggressive, but I don't know. I mean, Ash Sharma's talking about turning, Xbox into a billion, a billion person a day kind of brand and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I really don't know what this is going to look like.
I wonder if their cloud gaming comes into it and they have some kind of. It would be cool if they did like, oh, here's Project Helix, and it's not out yet. It's 2030 or whatever, but you could start testing a game here and there. Like it's limited amounts because their servers wouldn't be updated because of how expensive it is, and they're all running on Series X's right now. But I mean, they could have a limited test run. Like, hey, you get into the queue, you can come out and play a Project Helix game and check out the new console over cloud, and that would be smart. I guess.
can see that. Yeah, it's an interesting idea.
Actually, I didn't even think of that. That'd be smart if they were getting close and they realized, oh, we can't release this in 2028. But after our summer game showcase, why don't you sign up here and you can jump into cloud and play a Project Helix game?
You can play the new Halo on Project Helix.
Yeah.
Ah,
Also, I want to go on record saying I'm an idiot. I don't know why I thought 1,000 divided by 24 was anywhere close to $20. It's 41.60.
41.60. Yeah,
we're just gonna
that's
let
okay.
41.60.
I rounded up to 50 because there's no way they give you that for that price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So very interesting to see. Kind of. Yeah, I think the knock-on effects of what a $1,000 console. Again, because I don't think it's going to be a $1,000 console. If it's going to be above 1,000, it's going to be probably, you're talking like maybe 1,200, maybe 1,100. But it's like it's given that the PS5 Pro is already at 900. There's no way that the next generation of PlayStation is just going to be $100 more than that. They'll need to tack on like another 200 at least. So I think they're in a very, very precarious position. Next story here. Shuhei Yoshida told Clair Obscur Studio not to call Clair Obscur a turn-based RPG because it would put people off. There's not really much to say here, but I just wanted to say that headline's crazy.
I hate that. I hate that I agree though. I hate it.
Yeah.
When I think, along with most gamers, when I think turn-based RPG, I think like PlayStation. Like PS1. Like it's old. It's old.
Yeah. You think original Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, SNES. A bygone era.
So at the time, however, Yoshida said that turn-based JRPGs were considered old-fashioned. So when he discussed the game with developers at Sandfall Interactive, he advised them that the game was very well made, but that they shouldn't call it a turn-based RPG because players might ignore it based on the term alone. Instead, Yoshida said, say terms like reactive turn-based battle when used to make the game sound more appealing. I mean,
I don't like that. That's buzzwords. I don't want to play a game that's reactive based battle.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
I mean, to their credit, I didn't know it was turn based until well after release.
That's fair. I
really didn't.
Yeah.
I knew it was great. I saw some of the videos and cutscenes, and then it wasn't until I started watching gameplay. I'm like, oh, this is a turn based game. They don't think they ever mentioned that. So, I mean, I guess it worked.
They definitely did shy away from that. They showed off a lot of the more tone pieces and story stuff, which, to be fair, is where the meat of that game is. The turn-based battle stuff is fine. But it is also important to note here that, it got really, really good reviews from people who love RPGs. Like, they were like, Famitsu wrote a lengthy write-up giving its impressions, describing it as the best love letter from France to Japanese RPGs. The title is one of the so-called foreign-made JRPGs that have been influenced by Japanese RPGs, and I think it's a masterpiece that have been crafted with a level of visual quality and scope that rivals the biggest titles in the genre. So I mean, I get what he's saying, and I definitely think that but reactive turn-based battle I think is fucking terrible. But like, what would you call? What is your if you were going to pitch like, okay, we're not allowed to say turn-based RPG. What's the marketing spin on that? How do you what bullshit do you throw into the ether to try and get people to buy this game?
Yeah,
reactive Red Rover style gameplay.
It's a narrative cinematic experience with
Unreal time.
That's it. Yeah. I'm halfway there. I've nearly got it. With Charlie Cox voicing one of the characters.
Yeah.
Daredevil Zone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ben Starr is in this one. Yeah, I just like how do you say it's not? How do you say it's a JRPG without saying it's a JRPG? It's a I don't know. It's I mean, he's probably, but yeah, to your point, Jack, he's probably right. Like the turn-based thing does get a little bit of there's a connotation there.
It's like Pokemon, but not.
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
How
Nailed
you
it.
sell that? People love Pokemon.
Yep. It's
People
Pokemon
want
with
another game where I
depression
wouldn't-
instead of cuteness.
Yeah,
I don't think of Pokemon as a
like.
turn-based game, but it is.
It
a
is. It
turn-based
is
battle.
the turn-based game, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's your turn to have the graphics. Now it's your turn to have a story. Now it's your turn to be able to be playable at more than 20 FPS.
My daughter's playing the DS ones, and she's like, "Wow, these look so good." There's like cinematic. I'm like, "Yeah, that's why everyone's mad about the new ones."
Yeah.
They went hard downgrade.
Game Freak doesn't know how to make games apparently.
Well, apparently they. Oh wait, no, I've heard that game's rough. Just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about it.
Looks better than Scarlet Violet and Sword and Shield. So
yeah. Oof.
Disregard.
When those games came out. Next story here. Uncharted had dynamic difficulty because it was too short and they had to slow the player down, says former designer. This is just a fun story I just threw in there. Just there's a quote line here. It says, "We can't charge $60 for a 5-hour game with normal multiplayer." Yeah, and so apparently there's just a thing where it's like it harkens back to those amazing practices of, hey, this game, people are getting through this game too quickly. What do we do? It's like, well, we could add more content, or we could slow them the fuck down, and just kind of get them stuck somewhere so it feels like an 8-hour game instead of a 5-hour game.
Is this the first one?
Yeah, it's the very first one. Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. One, what are we doing? Like, Uncharted is a great game. What are we doing about talking about Uncharted 1 on August 18th, 2026?
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, why is
Lord.
To be
why
fair,
is that a news story?
To be fair, there's been a lot of chat around kind of what's happening at Naughty Dog at the moment because they've been they are missing in action as of this whole fucking generation.
Sure.
But it's just I just saw it. People have just kind of been talking about like dynamic difficulty and other bits and pieces. I just thought it was funny. Apparently it was in 2 and 3 as well, but they just kept it.
Yeah. I like it. I will admit, some self growth I had to go through. I'm sure when Uncharted came out, at that time I would have spent $60 for a 5-hour game and been annoyed.
Sure.
Now I'm like, yeah, give me the 5-hour $60 game. But
yeah, no, I can see that. I mean, like, yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, I'm still a little on the fence. I do prefer shorter games because my time's valuable and like. The worst thing a game can do is waste my fucking time, which again I'll talk a bit about what we've been playing. But
yeah,
yeah,
maybe 5-hour $60 game is pushing.
It's a little.
Maybe that's like I think I do $40 for a 5-hour.
Sure, yeah, that's a different story. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, now the that's the goalpost has been moved too. Now the budget games are $50 and the full games are $70.
Sure, so we might end up back at $60 for a 5-hour game.
Yup, that's coming up. We're encroaching on it. PS6 and Helix generation is 5-hour $60 games and unfinished $80 to $100 triple games.
I was going to say that doesn't really sound like it. That does actually sound like the most likely future because we're basically already there. Another quick one here. Xbox and IKEA are apparently doing some sort of furniture collaboration. They kind of showed off like some thumbstick stuff, and there's apparently like a D-pad that looks like a cushion. I guess we'll see what that looks like. I mean, we've got an IKEA here. I guess I could go buy some Xbox couches or some shit.
I've never been in one, so that's a good reason to do it.
Is the thumbstick supposed to be like a table?
Maybe, yeah. I could see that. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, or like a stool of some kind or something. Yeah.
As well as an analog stick stand.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. I mean, there's rumors that apparently they'll be talking about it at Gamescom, which is next week. So I guess we'll see. I mean, I have the Series X mini fridge, so I didn't end up buying the Series S toaster, but that's also an option.
I got that somewhere. I never opened it. It's still here.
But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. I did go to the local IKEA here shortly after I opened because it's the first one we've ever had later. It was earlier this year, I think, or late last year. And that was a nightmare. It was, I've never seen a place so busy. People were very excited to walk through and then stand in line and get Swedish meatballs. It was crazy. It was like Mardi Gras. It was ridiculous. All right. Big story this week, of course, is GTA 6, which we kind of alluded to in the intro. GTA 6 gameplay has been leaked. Leaked a lot, but there's been about 7 different leaks from this person. His name is Leeker, Leek, as in the vegetable. And he's been showing off some video stuff. He was able to prove that he actually seems to have a working copy of the game on PC. It looks like it's incomplete, so it's obviously an earlier build, but he is showing off all kinds of stuff. Things are being pulled down. He's been threatening stuff. He's gone and again, this was planned because this guy had a some fucking crypto shitcoin set up ready to go to get people to donate for him as this went live. So he's been planning this for a little while, it looks like. This is also like the 3rd time that GTA 6 is like leaked out in a different way. Back from when they had that whole hack back in like 2022 and other bits and pieces. And then they had the trailer leaked 2023. But yeah, this is kind of leading up to GTA 6's premiering on Netflix. They've got the whole extended look or whatever that's going to be next week, 27th. But yeah, apparently, according to Jason Schreier, there's some talk there. Apparently, they don't know who the leaker is. They haven't been able to identify him. They've been trying to, Rockstar have been working with Discord and a bunch of other organizations to try and dox the guy and figure out where he is. And he came out today and said that he apparently has a dead man switch. So that if he doesn't cancel a thing every single day, so if he gets nabbed or whatever, that they will release the game to a bunch of different people. So
I don't think they care at this point. They're gonna find him.
They're gonna find him. Yeah, this man is gonna get AC 130 very, very quickly for sure. There's been all kinds of rumors about who it is and kind of where they are. There's someone saying it might be someone from Ukraine, as like a Ukraine vet or something. But
it's Phil Spencer. Dun,
yeah,
dun, dun.
exactly, yeah. But they've been really. I mean, this is just crazy because they've just been Rockstar have been so tight around security, especially after the 2022 leak, that the fact that this is just out there in the world now is kind of fucking insane. Yeah, we're getting updates like on the daily. And I guess the main thing he was saying was that he's holding the game hostage because he wants Sony and PlayStation and Rockstar to roll back their no physical requirement kind of thing, which again I guess that's one way of doing it.
Well, and that's a comment I've been seeing online a lot, is Rockstar saying that they specifically did the no disc thing, the digital only thing, was to prevent leaks.
Yeah.
And so this guy's just like, okay, fucking challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Good job.
So yeah, Take-Two's filing subpoenas asking Microsoft and Discord for records to hunt down the leaker. I guess we'll see how that goes. They've been doing DMCA stuff as well, obviously trying to pull down the footage, but it's all over the place. If you want to see it, it's out there.
Yeah.
I oddly have not. So
yeah,
I've seen a good bit of it.
Yeah. It looks, I mean, again, like it's obviously an earlier build, so it's not fully complete, but there's a lot in there. He even talked about like showing the ending because like apparently it's a relatively complete build. So, yeah, we'll see what happens to this guy, but holy shit.
Like how the article is like, it might have RPG style mechanics. Yeah, San Andreas had that. Did they take that out of later games? I don't understand why that's a big deal.
They kind of did. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't so
Did
much.
they? I didn't play. I never played 4 and 5, so
yeah, it didn't really. I mean, they definitely did. Like San Andreas had a heap of it because you had bars for everything.
yeah.
Whereas they toned that down a lot in 4 and 5.
Which would make sense with like technological limitations.
Mm.
San Andreas at that point was the 3rd one on that generation, whereas 4 and 5 were both 360 generation and then 1. So that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, I love Cyber Leek because the guy's also been posting pictures of himself as they photoshopped himself to look like a leek in a tank top. It's really interesting. I mean, we've definitely seen some big hacks, but this is obviously, I'm sure Rockstar are very, very unhappy with this because really, really stealing their thunder.
Yeah, I saw somewhere that Take-Two's stock is just hemorrhaging right now too.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's going to disappear. I mean, they'll find him. They definitely will, but he'll disappear into.
They're gonna find
Think
him.
so? I don't know. I'm very interested and curious, one or the other. I don't know. How do you find a guy like this? How do you find this person?
He's got a VPN. There's no way for them to track him down. So
No.
I
mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I'm
Though. I know
not
what you mean.
naive, but
Yeah.
I'm just. I like to assume that people doing this kind of ballsy thing are not so dumb that they're just like, I'm fine, I'm behind a VPN.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
No, he's in private mode too.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Sure.
If you click that on your Edge browser, then you're fine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a developing story. We'll see what happens, and we'll also compare with what ends up getting announced on Netflix, and then 6 hours later on for everyone else on YouTube. Because who the fuck is going to get a Netflix subscription to check out a GTA trailer?
Yep.
Yeah. Other quick stories here. Dishonored devs, some of the previous Dishonored devs have launched a new studio. Called was it? Sorry, I just grabbed the name, but it was Black Pony Immersive. I think it was. Yeah, Black Pony Immersive. So they've apparently been running for the last year, but they just kind of announced that they're kind of have a bunch of people from Arcane, and they're looking to do more games in that genre now that they're kind of free of Microsoft after all that all got shut down.
Immersive Sims, yeah,
great. I mean, I'm hoping that apparently they do have a publisher. Apparently, they haven't revealed who it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sort of Focus Interactive or something along those lines, a Sobo level, sort of mid-tier. Looks like they're going in with a, looking around that $50 million budget as opposed to the $500 million budget. So, I love Dishonored. I really enjoyed Prey. I'm really curious to see kind of what happens with them. Hopefully it goes well for them.
Yeah, I feel like we've actually been kind of short on games like that for a little while here too. So it'd be cool to get some more.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and they also kind of talked about how you should go check out the interview. It's on the Game Business. One of the things that they kind of is that even though those games aren't always like huge sellers, they are the kinds of things that people refer back to a lot. People talk about Deus Ex to this day. People talk about Thief. People talk about Dishonored as like games that are unlike anything else. Like it's a genre that's kind of unlike anything else that there's around either today or before it. Yeah, we definitely have a shortage of those.
And Redfall, you forgot Redfall.
Yes, they do also talk about Redfall and kind of what happened there. It was a really interesting. It's like 30 minutes long. Go check it out. They do talk a bit about like what happened with Redfall and kind of why it was I don't necessarily agree with their rationale. I think Redfall was kind of broken from the ground up, but they did also reveal they had a really interesting thing where after they got fired, like after the studio got shut down, a few of them asked Microsoft if they could basically come back into the building and finish that last patch and actually get it out the door, even after they were not getting paid for it. And they just kind of did it of their own volition, which is crazy because, like, launching
that's their baby.
Launching content after you've been fired is quite the achievement. And the game definitely was
better. A true artist.
Yeah, exactly. Like having a real love for the thing you make, even if it isn't great. And like I'm glad they did because it did improve the game. But to be fair, I think the game is fundamentally broken from the ground level. So that was one that I had achievement glitches with too. Actually, speaking back to our earlier question, that was one that really fucked me off.
I bought it sitting on my shelf. I almost kind of bought it because it was like $20, and I kind of bought it because I'm like, I heard this was bad. I kind of want it on my shelf. Don't know why. I mean, I got a copy of Agony sitting on my shelf too, so I guess I'm just a weirdo.
Did that one as well. Didn't do the sequel though.
I don't think the sequel's on Xbox.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it made it. I think it was just on Steam.
It's on PlayStation.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Brick Shop, which is Mattel's Lego competitor, they're launching a 3,509 piece recreation of the original Xbox, complete with a Duke controller. If you haven't seen this, go check out the image. It looks awesome. 1-to-1 scale console and light and music, and has all kinds of stuff on it. It's not cheap. It's $330, so it's a pricey one, but it is an original. It's the size of an original Xbox. Like it's 1-to-1 scale. Looks cool as fuck. If I had somewhere to put it, I probably would have bought one. But yeah, I think it's cool. It also includes 3 small dioramas based on the console's best games: Halo Combat Evolved, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, and Psychonauts, which can be removed and showcased individually. Yeah, it's a cute little thing. I would definitely recommend it.
I'll probably buy it. Yeah, I'll probably get one.
Yeah,
as a brick enjoyer.
As someone who's permanently bricked up, this is the way to go.
Permanently bricked up. I like that it's 1-to-1. That's cool because the 360 they also did not Lego, whatever.
Mega Blocks or Brick Shop, yeah.
I thought it was the same company.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe it was. They did a 360 that was not a 1-to-1.
No, yeah,
it's a little smaller. Yeah, that'll be keep an eye out for overly priced garbage because
yes,
I'm sure I'll post mine when I get one.
Yeah, 100%. All right, and then the last one is the price and release date for the green Xbox, the see-through one they showed off, the 25th anniversary one, got leaked. It is apparently going to be it's a 1 terabyte console, and it comes with the limited edition controller. So it will be $899 in the US, so $900, same price as the PlayStation 5 Pro. So very fucking expensive. Yeah, it's like it's another $100 over the current price increase. So yeah, as much as I would love one of these, I think that's going to be a no-go for me.
I want one, but I also cannot justify it.
I may pick up the controller because I have the blue and the red one, and I had the white one before it broke. So like I tend to buy these see-through plastic things, but
yeah, if I can get the controller for $80 on its own, I'll probably do that. But I can't. I can justify a lot of stupid, expensive things. I don't think I can justify this one.
Yeah, it is coming out on Black Friday though, so end of November. So maybe it's a Christmas thing. Who knows? All right, and that's all the news. So yeah, quite a bit going on this week, and that's only the stuff we covered. There's other more crazy things going on, but yeah, I guess we'll see, especially on that GTA front, what's happening. Game Pass updates. Shane, do you want to read through those?
Sure. Joining for the second half of August, we've got August 19th, Vapor World Over the Mind coming to Ultimate. We got August 25th, Blood Dungeon coming to Ultimate. August 27th, Resonance, A Plague Tale Legacy coming to Ultimate. And September 1st, Shelldiver.
Nice.
I don't know about any of these.
Yeah.
The Resonance. I think I saw the trailer for that, but I don't know anything about the rest of them.
Yeah, Plague Tale Legacy looks... I mean, it's a Plague Tale game, so I'll play it because I love the other two.
Looks a little more actiony, though.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a spin-off thing, so looking less stealthy. Yeah. But that's okay. I'm kind of looking for something new and interesting to play. Vapor World was that kind of 2D 2D Souls-like Metroidvania looking thing, but it had like AI in it, so people were getting a bit upset.
Yeah.
I think it's a game preview now. I don't think it has achievements yet, or
it isn't game preview.
So yeah.
Which one was that?
A Vapor World.
Oh yeah.
I think it showed. I think they showed it off at maybe was it Summer Games Fest or something. I remember maybe it's showing up at the State of Play or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But also, we got the leaving stuff. Another Crab's Treasure, I Am Your Beast, Neon Abyss, One Lonely Outpost, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
You guys gonna try to get any of those done?
Another Crab's Treasure I definitely recommend. It's a really kind of fun game.
That's mine. That's my goal.
Yeah. It's got assist mode in it, so if you really need to speed through it, you can literally equip yourself with a gun and kill everything in one hit. But obviously that's not the intended experience because it is that kind of Souls-esque game. My main issue I had with the game was the platforming, in the way that like Souls games tend to be quite grounded, literally. This also has like a lot of like platforming and swimming and other bits and pieces that kind of make it a bit more of a hybrid.
I would do. That's the one I want to do. Would be another Crab's Treasure. I also do want to do Neon Abyss actually. But I won't have the time. My thing is I don't know if I want to rush another Crab's Treasure. I don't want to have to do assist mode.
Yeah.
See, I'm not. I'm going to stream it all legit.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play and be stressed while playing it. So it might just have to go on the wish list.
It goes on sale relatively often, I believe, so it's probably not a bad idea.
I'm to be honest, I might have to go see if I have it on one of the consoles or PC or something because of all the free shit that they just hand you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the lowest it's been is $12. It's not bad.
Pretty
it's
good,
a $30 game. Yeah, I think it just has to go on the wish list, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've been lucky in the last few games leaving that I haven't had to rush too much, but it also does help to know that I'm like, oh, I should probably play this thing when I finally hear about it because I've lost it in the Game Pass mess of 400 games.
I was really lucky for a really long time. Like every time somebody posted games leaving, I was just like, oh yeah, it's a bunch of kind of slop I don't care about. But lately I've been getting real heartbroken and I've been going and adding things to my wish list and making sure I don't forget about it, lose sight of. So
yeah. We also have the Patreon, patreon.com/HawlerGamers if you want to help support the show monetarily. A huge thank you to Old Mate Clown, Cavalier07, Hack'n'Pone, Kung Fu Skills, Happy Moogles, Admiral Awesome, Natolator, Lee Howard, Left Legacy, Venom's AU, and William Johnson for making the show possible. We put all the funding straight back into the show, paying for hosting other bits and pieces. So thank you all so much. We couldn't afford to do without you guys. And if you do want to join as a free member, you can also catch up on a bunch of the old content that I've made free on there, old episodes of Lights, Camera, and Action, and other bits and pieces like that. So joining as a free or paid member, we always appreciate the support. We also have the Bimestral Burden, which is our monthly theme that we do every 2 months. So for July and August, we're coming towards the end of August, but Game Hog Day. So playing games that require more than one playthrough to complete, whether that's because you need to do separate difficulties or because there's branching storylines and all that kind of shit. So let us know what you're playing and how you're getting into it. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was a good one for that because you have to do a hard playthrough. But yeah, let us know what you're doing. All right, let's get into what we've been playing. I'll tee us up with one game and we'll go around the horn. So I picked up Legacy of Kain Ascendance, which is the side-scrolling little thing that they announced a little while ago when they announced they were bringing over Legacy of Kain Defiance. So this finally went on sale. It is an interquel. It takes place. It's based on I believe, a comic that kind of introduces a new character, Raziel's sister, and kind of some of her time traveling adventure stuff and how she influences some of the events. From a story perspective, it's kind of not super impactful, but it's kind of interesting. You know, it's like, oh, okay, there's kind of a couple of small explanations and a couple of little lore things around kind of like influencing certain events from the shadows and, you know, for example, figuring out why Kain decided to raise his lieutenants the way he did, or why Raziel decided to present his wings in such a flamboyant manner and get them ripped off his fucking back. So there's other bits and pieces in there. Like, so from a story perspective, it's a very, very basic side-scrolling platformer with some combat. You kind of cycle between Raziel, this new character, and Kain. So it's very short. It's only about maybe 4 or 5 hours. There's a bunch of side-scrolling collectible stuff. It's done in sort of pixel art style with sort of the visual novel cutscenes, with a couple of really interesting 3D set pieces that they've kind of rendered in the old, like almost like a retro styling. So not like PS1 styling, well, like reminiscent of PS1, like early PS1 stylings, but with like better textures. Yeah, so the thing is, like, I can't really recommend the game itself. I think it's kind of really, really bare bones in a way that I wasn't expecting. I was kind of hoping for a bit more of a sort of Metroidvania style, open worldy kind of go and do missions, fight bosses. It is a very linear, go from left to right, do some platforming, avoid pits, and fight some enemies with one basic attack and one basic special attack and a dodge, and that's pretty much it. There is a parry, but it's fucking useless. So I honestly wasn't really impressed with it, which is unfortunate. But as a fan, obviously, I had to play it. So that's what I spent my time with. I started it like yesterday or the day before and finished it. And like, you requires 2 sittings because you have to do the game on Nightmare. But you can, if you just want to play through it on story, you don't really care about the achievements. Story mode basically makes you invincible. Like, there's no way to die. so you can kind of just breeze through it.
And then how long did Nightmare difficulty take?
Oh, that one took me a couple hours. I got stuck in one.
Nice.
I got stuck on one part where there's 3 fire demons you got to fight as Raziel, and it took me almost an hour on these same 3 enemies. It wasn't a boss, wasn't anything like that. I was losing my fucking mind.
I love those parts.
Yeah. Yeah, and hearing the same fucking voice line over and over again, I nearly fucking snapped my controller in half. So, but the rest of the game is relatively straightforward. It's just kind of it's the standard side-scrolling platformer kind of bullshit where it doesn't control super well, so you kind of just get locked into animations or hit with something you can't really dodge, or it kind of feels like it feels not very, it's not a very good game, unfortunately. But it's got like a 2.0 ratio, so not too bad. Shane, what's something you've been playing?
I cleaned up a little Minecraft. Human Fall Flat got more DLC. Yada yada. I guess the main thing I can start with is I finished up Atlas Fallen. That was cool. Yeah. Pretty neat little game. Yeah, I was playing that last time I was on. I didn't have a whole lot of cleanup. The end boss was super easy. Like by that point, I wasn't even playing on the easy difficulty, and I still just was destroying anything that even dared face me at that point. I can't believe I literally beat. I was on stream. I literally beat it. I'm like, okay, here we go. And
next phase.
Like, yep. That was it. Nope. That was it. And then luckily there were some collectibles, but I had to collect one of each. Like I had missed a shard for the upgrades because I didn't realize they take that ability to find those away from you when you finish. But I only had one, and then I had one cosmetic pickup, and I was done. Nice. Pretty cool game. I definitely can recommend it. I guess it's not on. I did it because it was leaving Game Pass, so sorry. I guess at this point you're kind of out of luck, but it was neat. I was pretty excited to get to it. I should go back and watch my old video because everyone keeps telling me that it was different when it launched, like a different voice actor and everything.
Yeah, they replaced the original voice actor with Ben Starr, and they kind of redid a lot of the mechanics of that game to make it a lot more playable. So it actually got quite a big overhaul.
Yeah, because I remember playing that at the beginning. I'm like, I don't remember this when I previewed it. Like, I feel like this would have stuck out a little bit more, but go figure, I guess. But yeah, and then like I said, I jumped in Minecraft, guys. I'm still working on the Switch version these years later, and I got another DLC along with Human Fall Flat, and just stop updating these games, please. I thought Human Fall Flat 2 was out, man. I was so excited, but no, it still hasn't come out yet. So they need to hurry and release that dang game so I can stop going back.
I'm a few updates back from Human Fall Flat, but I should go back and do a bit more of it.
Yeah, I actually hopped in on this one early. I usually fall behind, but there were some people doing it, and I was just like, can I hop in and just like not do anything? And you guys finish it, and they're like, yeah, sure.
So. Well, that's a off cam, off mic game. So I did a DLC one night each last week, and that way I could like watch TV with my daughter and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
Like I'll get to it. That's a break. So they weren't too bad. The first time I like flop over, so I'm like, oh, I hate this game again, and I'm just so over it. So
that's so funny.
But what were you playing, Jake?
Yeah. So I also did the Human Fall Flat DLC, but I alluded to stepping away from my typical, like I basically curated every game I'm supposed to play. For the next, the whole list was like 40 games. I'm actually getting close. I think I only have like 10 games left.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so we're getting there. But I took a little break actually because Infamous 2 is having multiplayer achievements that were getting discontinued. Or multiplayer trophies, I should say. They were incredibly easy to get, and I actually had a save from way back when I played the game in like 2014, I think was when my save said it was. And they're just for playing user-generated levels. So, and you just have to play like 25 of them. You can get to the point where they unlock in an hour, and then you can unlock the trophies that are going to become attainable in another like 30 minutes of playing. So I booted the game up, and I got the missable stuff, and then I was just like, well, while I'm here, like, I guess I'll just finish the game out. So I had basically no progress, so I finished the whole game, and then that game requires 2 playthroughs. So I had to go do the whole thing again on hard and making all the like evil choices. And then I was kind of just like, I dropped Infamous 1. Like, I beat the game, but I never 100%ed it back in like 2013. So I said, well, I'm already kind of in the like Infamous mindset, and it's not that terribly long of a game. So then I went back to Infamous 1. And in addition, the standalone DLC, Infamous Theater of Blood, or Infamous 2, is it Theater of Blood?
Carnival of Blood?
Festival of Blood.
Festival of Blood? Yeah,
Festival of Blood. Also was falling victim to the same unobtainable user-generated content stuff. Fun fact, that actually makes you play 2 or 3 user-generated levels as part of the story. So when they shut off those servers, I don't know what happens to Festival of Blood. I don't know if it's just like a purely, like, not even like incompletable trophy wise, incompletable casual playthrough wise.
Yeah,
I don't know what happens. But I went back and did that. So, yeah, I revisited some old Sucker Punch games, Infamous 1 and 2, and then I also just ordered Infamous Second Son and Last Light.
Hell yeah.
So those came in this week. Because I was just like, well, while I'm here, I might as well just do the whole franchise.
Hell yeah.
I'll talk about. I didn't jump right into Last Light because I needed it to ship. But I can talk about what else I've been playing after Matt tells us the rest of the stuff he's been playing.
Yeah. So, other thing. So, when I finished Ascendant, the nice thing about Ascendant with Legacy of Kain Ascendant is that it has the original voice actors. So Simon Templeman and Michael Bell reprising their roles, and I was just like getting into that thing of like, oh man, I was explaining to my my flatmate here what Legacy of Kain is, basically, at a very high level, because obviously there's a whole fucking 3-hour video essay that you could watch to get the lowdown on that. But and I was just, as I talked more about it, I was like, fuck, I need to play some more of this. So I also grabbed Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered, and I've started that. I haven't played this since the PS2 days when it originally came out. I'm not as familiar with it as I am with Soul Reaver. I'm like an hour or two into it, and I'm having a great fucking time. It's still, you can tell the direction they were kind of going in, and like it plays a lot better than the other games, but it's still very much a PS2 game. Like, it is from that era of like, okay, cool, we haven't quite hit Devil May Cry levels of like how the stuff
That's
is.
exactly That's exactly how I felt about Infamous. I'm like, this is a game from 2009 and 2011.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
Yeah, all the trappings. It's like, yep, I was like, I've got a weird lock-on mechanic that's kind of like Z-targeting that doesn't work super great. The camera's fighting me all the fucking time. The textures are very flat, even though it's all remastered and they've kind of done up a lot of stuff, because you can actually switch between them as well, which is kind of nice. But I'm only a couple hours into it, but I'm having a great time, and just like the Shakespearean nature of that story, and the gravitas and the voice acting, and just the like, history of Boars of Paradox, and they're also fucking dramatic, and vampires and shit, and and they're all just like, the classic like thinly veiled thread as they leave the room and leave you stranded, and you got to fight off a bunch of enemies. And it's so ridiculous and over the top, and I fucking love it. I'm really hoping that they get around to doing like a remake of like Blood Omen and that side of that side of the games, because I mean, there was rumors that they might be working on a new game of some kind, but I don't know in this environment if that's going to happen, just because of like, I mean, if they made it like it was the old style games and don't spend $500 million on it, then maybe it'll work out. But I'm day one for all that. But I've been really enjoying it. Like, the nice thing about Defiance is that because you play as Kain and Raziel, and you get switched between them chapter to chapter, so different mechanics, different types of enemies, different abilities. I know it gets a lot of flack in terms of like being quite narrow in terms of its scope, whereas like Soul Reaver was a much larger game. But I'm totally there for it. I'm getting the nice feeling of nostalgia with some of the improvements of modern day technology. So I'll definitely talk more about it next week, because I know I have to do like a speed run, and there's a shitload of it has that classic adventure platformer thing where it's like, guess what? Like, there's a lot of collectibles to get, and also there's a bunch of little things you can do during the levels to get achievements. So it's like, oh, in this area, make sure you break both of the statues to get achievement, or And there's a lot of like meme stuff where it's like there was like a King of the World achievement for standing on top of a statue, and I don't know. Yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. I'm hoping that by the time I get to the end of it, that it continues that way, but we'll see.
You never know.
Yeah, Shane.
The main thing I was working on is GeForce, which I had done in my dive. What was it, last month or whatever it was. If I had been on the podcast about 2/3 days ago, I would have said, hey, this is a really competent kids game. Like, if you just handed me this game and I didn't know it was a movie, I'd be like, oh, this is a pretty cute little AA indie title about guinea pig spies. The gunplay works fine. The level design is really good. The voice acting has a lot of the actors from the movie, like Sam Rockwell is in it, and a lot. Like, cool. All right, neat, sweet. Achievement wise, though, one of the achievements, and the highest ratio one, is for completely upgrading your character. There is no carryover, so this must be done in one playthrough. I have never played a game where if you collect every single thing in the game and kill every single enemy, you do not have enough points to fully upgrade your character. How did they screw that up?
Fun fact.
Yeah, but can you, like, is there an achievement tied to it? Like, is there no new game plus at all? I mean,
Infamous 1 and 2 both required you to upgrade your character max, and by the time I'd 100% of the map on both my easy and hard playthroughs, I still had to like find extra XP to grind out. It's just really, really annoying.
And that's just it. There is no way to get extra in the game. Like, these are like pickups, it's a kid's game. Like, there's little floating icons. That's it. There's a very finite amount, and I couldn't believe it. So I reloaded an old save. I went back. I'm like, okay, there is not a bug, but there's an enemy that'll keep respawning. So okay, you can do that for a while, but after a while it just stops respawning them. So okay, I'll do that. That's like 3 instances of that enemy where you can do that. So all right, do that. Got to the end, still didn't have enough. I was like maybe 20 points short, and that's nothing. Like each pickup's like 10. So I was like, okay. I'll go back again to the same where those enemies are spawning and do it again. Maybe I just didn't quite pick up enough. Some of the boxes that's RNG, how much they drop, still didn't have enough. So the only way to beat this game really is to, if you go back to the second level, there is an infinitely running loop of a section where even when you run out of lives, you keep all the points you collected up to that point and just do that section over and over and over again. So I did that for about 3 hours last night and got 15,000 points, so that there was no freaking way I was going to reach the end of the game a 4th time and still not have it. And sure enough, I got it earlier before we started the podcast. So,
nice. So not a strong recommend then.
Garbage. I think I still recommend it. You just really got to know you have to do that. Like, you really do, because it is a good game. Like it for a kids Disney. Who developed this game? Like, for a kids Disney game, it is very competent. Eurocom, I don't know. I don't think they've done a whole lot. I didn't have much garbage. Disney Universe was okay.
Sure.
GoldenEye Reloaded, people like that. GeForce, some Olympics games. Whatever. So now all I have left is I have to play on hard. And I have to do a speed run of 8 hours. And before you guys pulled me in here, I was about halfway through the game sitting at maybe 2 hours on the hardest difficulty. So I think I'll be just fine nailing that. I think if you knew what you're doing, you probably could even get all the collectible points and all the everything else easy enough in one playthrough.
A speedrun achievement for a movie tie-in game is crazy.
That's crazy, right? Like
yeah.
I remember because I used to play all the 360 trash, back in the day. So like all like Meet the Robinsons and all that sort of stuff, right? And GeForce is one of the ones I thought about, but I went and looked at the achievements for it, and like the ratio was crazy high. And just like the people were being like, "This is not worth it. Don't do it." And I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll listen to them. And I kind of wish I had done it, because now I don't even know where I'd find a copy, but.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, it is the achievement list doesn't read like a kid's game. The game is very competent. It plays well. It's interesting ideas. It's a shame that it's got that stupid garbage upgrade system, and that's broken, and made me play the game all week. I should be done and playing another Crab's Treasure by now. That's my problem. Like I should already be.
I know the people who rated this game on TA are achievement hunters because the game has a 2.67, but the top review is GeForce, a movie-based game that actually does not suck. So like, I love that duality
100%.
right there. Like somebody giving the game an honest review and achievement hunters being frustrated at a list.
I was definitely started. I thought it was gonna be another Meet the Robinsons or something. You know, those have a very specific feel to them where they're not that fun. They really aren't. It's very by the numbers, and maybe like at 2 levels into this, I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. All right, I'm enjoying this. Now I hate it. So, and it kind of fits into the Bimenstrual Burden because there is actually an achievement for completing the game twice.
Oh, there you go.
Don't unlock the hard difficulty until a second playthrough anyway. So
my favorite.
Yeah, that's
thing,
pretty much all I did.
That is one of my favorite things about achievement hunters is a completely competent game is just ruined by a list.
Unfortunately, that's the thing. I mean, there's an art to it, right?
I still recommend it.
Yeah,
as an achievement hunter, you have to know that you have to do that glitch at least one playthrough to cut it down. I would definitely do it on your first playthrough, and then you're set. I went really hard. Again, I'm getting near the end of the game. If I had to estimate, I'm probably gonna come in 4,000-ish points over what I actually needed to finish up. So I definitely did not need to grind for 3 hours yesterday, but I was making dang sure
for sure.
This was the final time I was doing this. So I was so happy to see that achievement pop earlier, man. Whoa. Gross.
Jake, you got anything else?
Yeah, I actually got a couple games. So I gave in, and so I strayed from my path a lot. So like I said, I played Infamous and Infamous 2 and Festival of Blood. But then I think kind of almost in between Infamous 2 and Festival, or Infamous 2 and Infamous 1, I caved and did Halo Campaign Evolved. I was mulling over that one a lot because like I'll be completely honest, I still like the Halo franchise. I've been actually recently looking at picking up some of the books because I do like the franchise, but I think I'm at a point in my life where I'm kind of over achievement hunting them. I think MCC started making all of them start ask too much of the player, from my perspective at least, and from an achievement hunting perspective. I don't like Lasso. I don't think Lasso respects your time. The legendary speedruns, just even with like, when it came to PC and you could like basically make those dirt easy. I did some before that happened, and that just like really soured me. I didn't have a good time doing legendary 3-hour speedruns. So I just kind of I was like, well, I'm still gonna enjoy this franchise, and I'm gonna play these games like casually. I've been toying with the idea of going back and doing like a recruit run of the whole of the whole series, just to like go tell that story again because I like the story. Infinite I haven't even played yet, but it's on my tag because I played it casually multiplayer with some buddies, and I want to go do the story just to continue to get the story. And then Infinite came out, and Campaign Evolved came out, and I paid no mind to the list for all the reasons I previously stated. I was like, I immediately saw, oh, there's a Lasso achievement. But even when there wasn't Lasso achievements, I never had fun achievement hunting. Like Combat Evolved Anniversary, I didn't have fun achievement hunting. I find I often don't have fun achievement hunting Halo games for some reason.
I'm with you.
I just don't find like the challenges they tell you to do fun or any of that stuff. So I didn't give the list too much of a mind, and then I saw they had a Lasso achievement, and I went, nope, yep, I'm good. I'll play it like casually when I go to do my full series run for fun. And then I saw there was the bug to make it dirt easy, and I was just like, okay, I've been here before, where there's a glitch that makes a really, really otherwise difficult achievement a cakewalk. And I've kicked the can down the road and said, no, I'm working on other things right now. I don't want to stray from what I'm working on. And time and time again, I've kicked the can down the road, and then it's like, oh, it's been patched now. And now if you want to do it, you're going to have to, you're gonna kick yourself. So I hit up a couple buddies, and I was like, okay, who wants to do this with me? And I got a bite. And so I was like, all right, screw it. We'll do it. So I ran through I ran through the campaign with a friend to get all the skulls. Then we did the lasso using the glitch method, and then I saw earlier this week, I think it was, that I was vindicated in my decision because it looks like they've at least patched it for single player.
Yeah, as far as we can tell.
The co-op still seems to work, is my understanding.
Yes, in some way. I haven't looked into it, but yeah, that seems to be. It seems there's a workaround.
When I was playing it, and when I was the second player, I wasn't the host. My progress would go up after every mission. We only had to back out for the host to go do the bug, like the go pick up a skull bug. So I don't know if it's still works that same way, but anyway, I did that, and I actually had a lot of fun. I forgot how I really like Halo 1. Halo 1's a really good game, good story. I thought the design of the bonus missions were solid. I think everyone has been I've seen a lot of hate on the bonus missions, saying like 343 clearly can't make good Halo still because these bonus missions suck. And I was like, I think the design of these bonus missions is good. And I think most of the dialogue is fine.
Sure.
Anyone who's complaining about the ODST soldier being, petty, they don't know lore, clearly.
Yeah.
They're LARPers. They clearly don't know Halo lore. But there was as long as they listen to some of the player feedback on some of the dialogue choices, I think we'll be fine. And it wasn't necessarily always the exact dialogue. Like, I still just can't. I still remember him saying when they got on the gondola to go forward, Chief's not gonna say choo choo.
Yeah,
he doesn't. That's not Master Chief.
Yeah,
Chief doesn't make quips. Johnson's not going to say I'm going to be home by dinner, and Chief's going to go, "You're always hungry."
Yeah, exactly. There's a super weird buddy cop thing going on that just does not work.
Yeah. So as long as they listen to some player feedback and learn to write Master Chief the way Bungie wrote Master Chief, I think we'll be okay. With
so Halo, not talking at all.
7. Well, yeah.
Ideally,
that's just the whole thing. He's this silent.
Get that butt out in game, so it's canon. Yep.
Yeah.
Show us how the machine jerks him off. Yep.
They
even pointed on a prequel mission where we go and get the plans for that, so we can make it. So the Spartans are all more mellow.
Yeah.
I will say, like, they even brought attention to it. There was a part where Johnson asked Master Chief, "Hey, do you ever get tired of being the almost silent type?" And he just goes, "No," and that's perfect. That was the correct response.
Yeah,
like exactly. That's fine.
That's good humor. Yeah.
That's the understated. I mean, to be fair, it would have been funny if he had said anything, but no, like that's the second best option.
Away.
Yeah,
walks off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So otherwise, the list was pretty fine. I wouldn't recommend doing it now that the shit's glitched, because I wouldn't do that if it was. I wouldn't. Apparently, this lasso's not too bad. No lasso is ever enjoyable. Obviously, this is subjective. I know there's some people who are like, I love lasso, but I actually had some friends say they didn't want to partake with us in the glitch because they wanted to do it legit. I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, lasso is never fun. It never respects your time. It's never worth it. And that's my hot take.
Moonzom is a big fan of ODST lasso. Apparently, yeah, I'm 100% with you on all of those points. I think that, I think that most of the achievement stuff really does not respect your time. Unfortunately, I don't mind the doing certain things in certain levels achievements. Like, they had a few in there for, it's like, oh hey, play through 2 betrayals, and it's like, yeah, but make sure you have on the no sprinting and like old school. I'm like, okay, sure, like that's kind of fun.
All the miscellaneous achievements in Campaign Evolved, even when you couldn't do the glitch, I think were well designed. I really like that. I just think back to Halo 5s and Halo Anniversary, and I just always think of the beat this level on heroic without dying and never throwing your grenade, and I'm just like, this isn't fun. I'm not having fun doing this achievement, but beat this mission with the skulls that make it like the old game were super fun. I even enjoyed some of the other beat the 343 Guilty Spark, finish the first floor without getting hit. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't too restrictive. It was a fun little challenge. Beat the brutes without ever making them enraged. I thought, admittedly, that was a poorly designed achievement. Not because it was like difficult in any way, but I was like, you just spent all this time building this kind of cool mechanic. Why wasn't the achievement beat the mission while enraging every brute?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like something like that. I thought that would have been more cool. I do agree with Moonzom. ODST Lasso isn't terrible,
but it's also short.
It's not. Yes, because it's short, and you can actually. I think I did the ODST Lasso legit. I don't think I like bugged that one out or anything. And it's not that bad. Like that, the lasso guide for that game is pretty cake. I also don't think there's iron in that game. I don't think.
Oh, yeah, maybe not.
So if you do it co-op and people die, it's fine. I think Moonzom can probably correct me on it, but anyway, and then sorry, what was that, Shane?
I was gonna say I was going through the very few Halo games I've played. I don't think any of the ones I've done had lasso.
It's
Reach
a newer
and Combat Evolved Anniversary. So
yeah, it's a newer thing. Master Chief
Cool.
Collection decided they wanted to put lasso achievements, and that made sense. It was like a celebration of the franchise as a whole. Like I got that, and then for some reason, 343 was like, let's just keep doing this for all of the Halos release, and I'm just like,
Gears of War got
stop.
seriously. We got lasso.
Yeah, hate it, hate lasso. I will still play Halo because I like the franchise, but unless there's a glitch like in Campaign Evolved, I'm probably not achievement hunting another Halo again because I just don't enjoy it. Lasso's not fun to me. And then the last game I played that I'm actually currently actively working on, and I alluded to earlier on the podcast, was Donkey Kong 64. Good old Donkey Kong 64. For some reason, really difficult to get running or emulating with achievements. So my journey started with using my normal emulator, which is RetroArch, which is just a front end emulator that has like a million different emulators tied into it. And that's pretty much always worked for me. The only time I don't use that is for GameCube, PS1, and PS2 games. Everything else emulates perfectly fine through RetroArch. I loaded up my normal, I loaded up the game, and it registered that it had achievements, but then every time the scene changed, it just froze and wouldn't but the audio still played. Like the game was still running, it was just the video. And so I'd have to if I hit the guide menu to bring up the RetroArch menu and then removed it, it would like continue on. But I'm like, well, that's not really super playable. Like every time there's a scene transition that's going to happen, that's not really great. So I'm like, okay, let me see if I can load a different emulator on this front end. So I load the other emulator. Then my achievements don't load. I'm like, well, that sucks. They loaded on the other one, but the other one sucked. So I said, let's go try the dedicated N64 emulator that's out there for achievements. And I tried that, and I got the game working with achievements for like one achievement, I think. And then I basically played. Oh, I remember what it was. For Project 64, for some reason, the collision was fucked up. So every time I walked outside of my the house in the start of the game and I jumped off of it, I'd fall through the map and then get teleported back up to the to the top. And then sometimes I wouldn't fall through the map, but if I could like hit a tree wrong, it would just clip me through the world, and then it would spawn. The game has like clipping protection. If you clip out of bounds, it just like spits you out at the last like door you kind of came out of. But it was so bad to the point where if I tried to jump into the tutorial barrels, in my mid-jump, it would clip me out of bounds when I'm very clearly not out of bounds, because like just the collision got all fucked up. So it's like, okay, this isn't going to work either. This is very clearly unplayable. So I'm doing a bunch of Googling, and I eventually go back to RetroArch. And I get the game running with achievements on a certain core, they call it. Like they have different emulator, like each emulator has like different cores, which is like different emulator frameworks that like somebody built that will emulate the game for you. I went back to one of the original ones I was using, and I don't remember all the things I did. I found some setting tweaks online, to make it work, and I eventually got it working and got achievement hunting, but it took way longer than it should have for any of these games. Anyway, that being said, I kind of also went into this game. I had fond memories of this game as a child. I played the shit out of this game on my Nintendo 64, and I loved it. I never beat it because it's really hard.
Yeah.
And I went into it I got back into it thinking I was gonna not have a great time, actually, because there's been a sort of a retrospective look on this game recently. I don't know if you've seen like the internet's take on Donkey Kong 64 recently, but the overwhelming retrospective consensus is like Donkey Kong 64 is a flawed, bad game. Like,
yeah,
I saw a bunch of people in forums saying the game is unplayable without the Tag Anywhere mod, which is like a mod that lets you switch your Kongs wherever you are instead of, if you're unfamiliar with Donkey Kong 64, it's a 5-character single player game where you basically play 5 different apes, and they all have their own collectibles, and you have to switch to the Kongs at designated points where you are allowed to switch. They're called tag barrels, and there's a big mod that goes around called Tag Anywhere. That is a mod that lets you swap Kongs anywhere in the map. You don't have to go to a tag barrel anymore. And I was reading forums, and people were like, "This game is unplayable without Tag Anywhere. It's just a mess. It doesn't, it's just an awful game. You have to play it without with Tag Anywhere." And I am playing with Tag Anywhere without Tag Anywhere. I'm playing the vanilla game because I didn't want to go through the hassle of patching my game after already spending 3 hours trying to get it working.
Fair.
I wholly disagree with like the internet consensus on this one. I don't think I think there's plenty of tag barrels like all over the place. Like I'm never feeling like I have to go too far out of my way to switch to the Kong I need to switch to. And maybe it's because I'm just doing everything with each Kong before I move on to the next. Like maybe some people are like swapping a ton and they're just like doing everything. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to go do everything Donkey can do. And then I'll do everything Diddy can do. And like, it's been fine. And I also don't feel like, I did play the infamous, like, get the beaver to fall into the hole mini game that is like notoriously broken.
Mm-hmm.
And that did suck. That was like, this is a broken game. Like they're literally running at the hole, but they're not falling into it. So I'm not getting the credit for it that I should be. But other than that, I'm like, what are people talking about? Like this game runs fine. The design is fine. The puzzles are like engaging but not crazy. Granted, I'm only 3 worlds in, so maybe I'll get to the later worlds and I'll be like, this is stupid. But I'm having a great time. I'm struggling to put it down, actually. It's been a blast to pick it back up again. So I just finished the 3rd world before getting on here. So the 4th world's coming up next. Admittedly, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd worlds are the worlds I know the most about because as a kid, I just like couldn't get past World 3 almost ever. I eventually got able to get to Worlds 4 and 5, but I don't even think I ever got a quarter of the way through Worlds 4, 5, or 6 ever as a kid. So I am entering unfamiliar or less familiar territory. So we'll see how my experience changes. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Donkey Kong 64 is treated unfairly in the modern day. That's my hot spicy internet take for the day, I guess.
No, even when I was a kid, I remember playing that and going, "Oh, I don't like this."
Oh, I loved it, dude. That's my hater take. My hater take today is actually I'm on the opposite side of the fence for.
That's
he's a lover today.
That's fair. Yeah,
I'm a lover.
Hating all the haters. It's funny, right? Because I don't have too many memories of playing it because I never owned an N64, but I played it a lot at one of my friends' places. And it was that thing of like Rare went through that progression of Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and then Donkey Kong. And then it was very much like the collectible platformer evolving from distinct worlds with a set amount of stuff to some interesting interconnected world stuff with like no real main hub, and then like the very kind of like almost overwhelming level of stuff that's in that game because it's fucking huge.
It is. I looked it up. It is still. It still holds the record for the most trackable collectibles.
Yeah,
in any game.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's the thing that makes me go, Jesus Christ, Ray, you need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then last thing that I played, I talked about this last week, but I finished up in quotes, Beast of Reincarnation, which if you don't know is Game Freak's attempt to make a non-Pokemon game after Tembo the Badass Elephant, I think was the last one, which I did actually play. Yeah, so I said last week that this is very much like copying Nia's homework in terms of like the aesthetic, the robots, the nature thing, kind of post-apocalypse. It's like Sekiro meets Nia. The story was like I wasn't really, again, I was only like 5 areas in. I think there's 12 levels, and so it's about maybe just under halfway. Do have to do a second playthrough because it's a new game plus mode. But yeah, this game, the more I play it, the less I enjoyed it. I think that the combat was still not really clicking with me. The parry system was just unfortunately, every parry system in every game is going to be compared to Sekiro till the end of time. And Sekiro is just the feeling of doing, a Mercury counter or a parry on some guy who's like trying to hit you 50 times is some of the best feeling in the world. And this really just does not hit it, unfortunately. Story-wise, I won't give too many spoilers away, but it sucks. It's fucking awful. It is the like the whole like robot, like, what does it mean to feel? What does emotions mean? That very stilted like Japanese thing of like speaking, then there's a long delay until then it cuts the camera across, and then there's a delay, and then they say something, like clearly spliced together dialogue that feels really unnatural. And then it turns out this isn't just a Nier Automata ripoff, it's also a original Nier ripoff as well for its storyline. Because I was like, I got to the end part and I was like, oh, so you're just, again, I won't say too much about it because some people may care, but I was like, oh, okay, so you're just doing like we're doing gestalts. Okay, got it. Yep. Okay, yeah, cool. Yep, got it. And then like there's like they just do exposition dumps. I found out in my second playthrough you can't skip like 90% of the cutscenes for some reason. Some of them you can skip some of them, but for no reason you just can't skip a bunch of them. There's not like there's any decisions to make or dialogue choices. There is one dialogue choice in the very intro cutscene, and then you make it, and then you never make a dialogue choice ever again. Like it feels like the first area is like, oh, okay, it's a slightly open world area where you can like semi-open world kind of wander around and collect things and kind of, it's like, oh, I get these 3 different keys and then go to a central point to fight a boss. I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of interesting. You're kind of discovering stuff. And then the rest of the game is a linear corridor that you just kind of follow through and get collectibles. It's, massive collectathon. The combat's not that great. Doesn't evolve all that much. I was really, really disappointed with this. And then to top it all off, I got the last achievement on Thursday, I think it was. And my my achievement for getting all the other achievements didn't fucking pop. So, so not happy about that. I had a save from before I hit the last achievement, so I tried to redo it a few times. I tried booting it up on PC, then I tried booting it up on console, and then my save got fucked up, and I had to restart the entire thing. So, like, I mean, again, like, not that it matters, because if it's not going to pop, it's not going to pop. But, like...
Did you check it on the mobile app?
I didn't, actually. I could try that.
That's, like, been the weirdest thing of the trigger achievements for me lately.
Okay, I could have a look at that.
Go check it on the mobile app, and it pops it.
I'll have a look, because I did all the usual stuff of, like, going into the in thing achievement list and looking at the specific game list and all that stuff. So it doesn't look like many other people are having this problem though, because it doesn't seem to be like unobtainable. A lot of people have finished the game. Well, not a lot, but quite a few people. I put a bug report on their Discord. Like, I'm just like, I mean, they are talking about updating the game quite a bit, so I'm hoping that gets fixed. But yeah, really fucking frustrating, because like now I also don't have a save file, so I would start from scratch. None of that worked. So yeah, less than impressed. That's a thumbs down from me, unfortunately.
It's a bummer. I was looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I mean, like there are some redeeming qualities for it, but it is also the definition of a game that always says it's welcome. By the time I got to the 6th area, I was kind of like, oh cool, let's just wrap this up. I was like, oh no, you need to fight. You fight just about every boss in the game at least twice, if not 3 times. for
yeah,
no
that's
reason.
what I've been hearing. Is like it has a pretty, and maybe you disagree, but it has a strong opener. Like it has a strong like 25%, maybe even 50%, and then you're just like, I'm over it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a decent starter. I don't think it's like a mind blowing game of the year sort of stuff. But I was like, okay, cool. You're getting some abilities. You unlock some new weapons. They introduce like a couple of ranged weapons and some new stuff, and you learn a couple of things. And then you like fight a boss, and you're like, okay, cool. And then it's the classic thing of you fight the boss, and then he runs away, and it's like, I'll fight you again later. I'm like, okay, cool. I can't wait to see his next time I fight him. What new tricks he has? No new tricks. Same boss. Does more damage. Has more health. Like just some of the laziest game design I've seen in a long time. Unfortunately, it's a real shame.
Damn, Game Freak. I was really genuinely hoping that like it was Pokemon Company and Nintendo that was holding Game Freak back, but it sounds like Game Freak is holding Game Freak back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Shane, did you have any other games?
Nope, that's it for me.
Easy. And Jack, that's it from you?
That is it for me.
Great. All right. Well, let's get into the word challenge, everyone's favorite competition where Kirby comes up with a game, Mr. Chin Doctor, and he gives us some very esoteric clues, and we try to guess what it is. And if you win some money. So we had a new clue last week for the new game. These damn kids don't want to work and just spend all day on their phones. And then the next one, the new clue for this week is stained glass window. So I have some thoughts of what it might be, but I'm also, because I won it last week, I'm not going to guess. So I'll be very curious to see what people's thinking is. Get on the word challenge. If you don't know what that is, there is a channel on our Discord called Word Challenge where you can guess once per hour. And if you get it right, gift pops up and you win money. So best of luck to everyone. Get your guesses in. I'm sure Kirby will update the bot very shortly. All right, leaderboards. Jake, you want to go through those?
Yes, I do. We got Neomaster at 7th. Come on, pump those up.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Warlord Ethan in 5th with 2,879. Professor Pluto with 3,540. And then it takes a crazy turn north from there with Northern Lass at 23,390. Thrash Forever at 31,240. And a Gray Shark at 44,125.
Jesus Christ.
Good Lord. With a respectable 2,800, respectable 3,500, and then immediately to 20,000. It's crazy, guys.
Yeah. I don't know what they're feeding those guys. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Completions. Shane, you got those?
Yeah, we've got Vex 173 finished up the Planet Crafter and Shift at Midnight. Good fun game. Dude that writes long reviews did RoboCop Rogue City. Left 4 Dead Pills here did Hell Let Loose Vietnam. Red Ninja Dan did Minecraft Story Mode. He's been working through those. Rapture did Abyssus. I really want to play that one. And the Planet Crafter as well. Spois did Onimusha 2. And Bulbasaur did Lego Batman 2.
Nice,
yeah, this is one of those games that I tested because I always test new games as they come out on my alt account. And immediately I was like, oh, I really want to play this more.
I also hear the Planet Crafter is really easy if someone has an achievement world. The Rapture said he finished it in like an hour. So keep an eye out for that if there's one around. And that's pretty much it for the show. As always, we do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us. Come say hi, hang out in the chat. Thanks to Moonzom and others for coming in and hanging out, and Cameron and others. We also put the show up on YouTube. So if you're an audio listener, you can catch us on YouTube. Xbox Hall of Gamers. You can see our beautiful faces and the wonderful thumbnail that Char does. But that's pretty much it. Shane, anything you want to shill?
As usual, I'm streaming every night on Twitch. I publish videos daily on YouTube, and you can catch everything on firehawkd.com to link all that stuff.
Great. Jake?
Yeah, I think shout out to the Nintendo 64 expansion pack this week. Mostly because I was reading my box for Donkey Kong 64, not the original box, just I like to buy custom cases that have like the original games art on them. That is the Nintendo 64 game that has native 16:9 resolution. capabilities.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I didn't know. I didn't know that because I didn't have a 16:9 TV.
No one fucking did.
64. No one did. I tried getting it working on emulation and I can't because it's running as 4x3 because of course it is because every other Nintendo 64 game is 4x3. But also shout out to the Nintendo 64 expansion pack because I don't actually know what other games use it. I really only know it from DK64.
You mean the Rumble pack or the expansion pack?
Think Perfect Dark.
The RAM expansion pack.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes, yeah. I think Perfect Dark. I think is the only other one. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
Surely not only other one.
Maybe. Yeah.
No, there's gotta be other ones.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Nintendo 64 RAM expansion pack.
Oh, that's crazy. And I'm Neomaster on everything, True Achievements, Xbox, and Discord. As always, been getting some new people joining the Discord. Feel free to join there. It's great to see where all the stuff happens. We talk about video games and movies and post pictures of all the expensive shit that we buy. And especially when it comes to really expensive cardboard. We saw some card collecting going on in one of the posts. Baseball cards, I think. Or was it rugby cards? One or the other. There's some shinies in there.
Cards I can show off. I also bought the Minas Tirith Lego set. I forgot to
post my that. God. my friend got the Sauron Tower, the Mordor Tower.
I have Barad-dûr, Rivendell, the Shire, and now Minas Tirith.
Minas Tirith, the Minas Tirith one is amazing.
It's gonna be a nightmare to build. Every piece is white.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And there's 8,200 of them.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up episode 226. A huge thank you to my wonderful co-hosts, our Patreons for making the show possible, and you for watching and listening at home. We'll catch you guys next week. See you later.